Hello.
Yeah,
Good
yeah, we're live
good afternoon,
now.
everyone, and welcome to this session on effective CV writing
Good
for
afternoon,
SFC
everybody.
taken by Jobberman. We're going to be taking you on a session solely on CV writing. How are you able to write an effective CV? Are you able to write a CV that sells you to the employer? So it's going to be a quite detailed session, and we'll have to be quite fast because we should finish this session before 1. So, what are the objectives of this session? First, by the end of this session, you should be able to understand the importance of a good CV. Also, you should know how to prepare an effective and contemporary CV. Take note of the word contemporary because there are so many CVs that are outdated. There are so many CVs that people used to write in the year 1990, and unfortunately, some of us are still writing those CVs. Also, we would understand how the ATS system works, which is the applicant tracking system, which is used in so many competitive applications. Then understand how to gather your work experience to put it into your CV. So that's core of what we'll be doing today. Now, what is your CV? Like we say, your CV is your marketing tool. What do we mean by your marketing tool? The average recruiter spends 5 seconds on CVs when you have so many CVs before they decide whether this CV is a likely potential candidate or not. So that first 5 to 10 seconds is your opportunity to tell the employer that, I'm somebody you should consider, I'm somebody you should think about, I'm somebody you should pay more attention to, which makes your CV a marketing tool. It is trying to get attention. That is what your CV is meant to do, meant to stand you out from the crowd, right? So, what should be the layout of your CV? We are going to discuss so many things. One of them is layout. How long should your CV be? And I would say this for starters. If you don't have more than 2 years work experience or 3 years work experience, your CV should actually not go beyond 2 pages, right? So I see some people in their first year or they are just finishing NYC and they have a CV of 3 pages or 4 pages. Trust me, you are joking. Because nobody has the time to be going through such a long CV. Why should your CV not be more than 2 pages? Because your CV is more like your history and history of yourself as related to the job you're applying for. So everything in your CV should be relevant work experience. You're not telling every day, you're not telling them everything about your life, where you slept, where you woke up, the village you are from, the town you are from, who your king is. Do you understand? You are just giving them the focused information that they need to say, oh, this is the kind of person we should be looking out for. And there are different kinds of CVs. There are templates online. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. But I think the most important thing is for you to understand what a standard CV should look like, so that you know whether a template does the work or not. But I would usually advise you sit down and design and craft your CV yourself. If you see a template you like, fine, you can follow it, but it's more advisable to do the work and craft a good CV yourself. So this is an example of layout. We're not using this example for details, but if you look at this CV, you can see something is clear. There's a lot of white space around. There are clear headings, clear sections, so that if an employer is looking for somebody with this kind of education, they can see it straight. If they are looking out for work experience, they can see it straight. There's plenty of white space. So this is just for layout. I'm not saying this is the structure for your CV. Now, we can see two different formats here. And the very first one I'll say is not advisable. When we go into details, we'll see do's and don'ts. Right. And this is something like a resume. So people ask, what's the difference between CVs and resumes? Typically in Nigeria, I'll tell you there is no difference. Because if an employer is asking you for your resume in Nigeria, most likely they mean your CV. It's just the words they are using, right? So, but in a structured society, let's say in probably in Britain or some other countries where they have meanings for those words, a resume would typically mean a one-page CV, which means that it is one document, one page that has everything that is necessary. If you look at this example we have here, the name is at the top. Almost everything this person wants to talk about is in this document. So I can say this is a resume. But in Nigeria, you can call this a one-page CV, right? Because whether they say CV or resume, they almost mean the same thing. So that's more of it. And you can see this person has put almost everything needed in one same document. So you can actually have a one-page CV. It's very possible. Now, what are the required sections in your CV? So some people say they don't know how to start their CV. They don't know what they should put. So this can help you structure your CV. Some things are optional, some things are not. You can have your name, like your professional, your details, like the very first and most prominent thing on your CV should be your name. First name, last name. You can have a professional headline, career summary. So a professional headline means for me, my professional headline will be youth development professional because that's my core, that's my career line. If I'm looking for a role, that's going to be the line. But for you, let's say you are looking for a career in HR, you can say human resource officer or woman. Do you understand? But what's description of you? What's your career path? What's your profile? Your professional headline? You can have that there. Then also you can now start with your work or it can also be your current position. Good. So if you don't have like something you call maybe a career path, if you are working in a company, for example, what can be the headline of my CV can be youth engagement associate because that's what I do with Jobberman Nigeria, right? So you can also have that as your professional headline. Then you can put the things that are mandatory: email, phone number, address. That is the only; those are the only things that are mandatory in your personal details. An email, a phone number, and an address. And the address actually doesn't have to be number 4, Tojuola Street, Pele Close, Ikeja LCDA. You now put so local government, Lagos, Nigeria, Africa. All that one is necessary. It's unnecessary. For me, I can put my address can be as simple as so estate, Maryland, Lagos. Do you understand? You don't have to put the refined details of number this, number that, number that. You get. But what is important is they need to know, this person is in this state, is in this area, because at times it's a decision-making point for some HRs or for some recruiting hiring managers. Also, what are the other parts you need? You need your career summary or professional experience, career summary. You need key experiences. We're going to see the breakdown of the different parts that should be in your CV. But now look at this. And we're going to do a lot of examples. This is a typical bad example. And I can say there are graduates that have this kind of CV. You put contact details like you are writing a letter. You put postal address. Trust me, nobody needs postal address. I don't know if Oyinlola, you want to say some things, you want to give us some things out of this CV. What do you think about this CV? What do you think young people should learn from this CV that they should not practice or that they should practice? Okay, we can't hear you.
Okay, I said just like you mentioned, that PO box, the postal address is really unnecessary because they're not delivering anything to you. If anybody's going to deliver anything, it would be via a phone call or through your mail. That's if they want to call you for interviews and anything related to the job. So the postal address is totally unnecessary. Yes, just like you mentioned.
Other things,
And
what do
the
you think
address
about the
too.
email? What do you think about the email on
What
this
did you
CV? The email on this CV.
say? It's quite tiny,
You
so
said
I can't
keep
without
keep
you.
the club at gmail.com.
Keep the club.
Yeah.
Oh well, the person should get a professional email that details the person's name. Now the person's name is Ayodimeji Cornelius Akintunde. So you can just work with Ayodimeji Cornelius at gmail.com or Cornelius Akintunde, any name that the person goes by. Keep the club. No, it doesn't work that
Okay,
way.
cool. Good. Very cool insight. Now, she said a number of things. So this is a typical bad example. You should have professional emails. Also, let me go further. This person went further to put marital status, state of origin, local government, nationality. For crying out loud, your name is Ayodimeji. Most likely you're in Nigeria, right? So there are so many things that are unnecessary, and this is a typical bad example. Let's see another one. This is another one. This person put contact address like you're writing a letter. Lizzie baby. That is not a professional email. The employer does not necessarily need your state of origin, except you are applying for a federal government job and they have requested that you put your state of origin. Maybe they have a way they make decision on who they will hire, right? But in Nigeria, always think this way. There are not so many discrimination laws. Don't give the employer a reason to discriminate against you. For example, if I put I am from Ogun State, Abeokuta town, and the employer or the person that is hiring has an husband or wife that is from that area and has been frustrating him or her, they will typically discriminate against you because, oh, this person again, you have come. You know, I want me, I'm already getting problem at home. Now I want to come and join me at work. No, you understand? So anything that is not needed, it's not core to the work you want to do, to the job you are looking for. Please leave it out of your CV. And like we said earlier, the most important thing, the first thing on your CV should be your name and not curriculum vitae. Everybody knows it's the CV. They ask you for a CV. This person first put personal details. Okay, personal details is the title. Curriculum vitae. You don't put that on your CV. The first and most prominent thing is your name. Let's look at 3 examples that work. So see this. Ibiwumi Akadako. That's the most prominent thing on this CV at the top. See the second one. This is Abigail Rosebud Ukena. This one, Tobiloba Prince Emmanuel. Those are the most important things on your CV, right? Where the person stays, email, and phone number. Those are the most important things. For some people like me, at times I add my LinkedIn profile, right? And it's optional, but you can add it because now employers are trying to look out for who is this person in real life. Like, what's the brand of this person? What kind of person is this person is this person? So look at work experience. And many people still put their work experience like this. Though before work experience, we have what is called career summary. And we'll still do takes examples of that. But see this person's work experience. Top T Multipurpose Limited, Iwo Road, yeah. From when to when, no detail. What do you do while you were there? No detail. Do you understand? And so many people keep complaining that they keep sending out CVs and they don't get offers, but they've not learned how to write a good CV, right? See this person, 2011, 2012 to 2013, no detail. You just put industrial training. Who knows what industrial training is? Who knows what this company does? What were you able to achieve? This is a very bad way of writing your work experience. We can see an example here. This person is probably a young school leaver, right? Intern at so place between this time and this time. And you don't have to use this structure. You can put January 2013 to March 2015. You get? So there are so many ways you can do it. But look at this structure. This person puts the place, a detail, and now what was able to achieve, what he or she was able to achieve. Developed this, researched on this, presented this. Do you understand? This is another example of professional experience. This person, mobile grammar school, NYC, what he did, taught us this, revamped this, championed this. Do you understand? And we are seeing this person use keywords, action verbs, saying, oh, I achieved this, I championed this, I did this. It shows core activity, right? Do you get? So that's one way to show that you were able to get stuff done. Because, like I said earlier, the hallmark of your CV or why an employer will hire you is because you can add value, right? It's because you've been able to achieve this, and this, and you are going to repeat it. I don't know if you get. So this is a good way to bring your experience to life, not by just saying, I work in social company, put the year, put the company, put the year. That does not work. This gives more detail and says, oh, this person has the kind of skills we are looking for. This is another example. Work experience. And some people say they don't have work experience, right? This experience, this person's experience, if you look at it closely, it is because I know the person that had this CV, he was a student. So all this experience were sort of freelancing experience. However, this person has found a way to put it as structured experience in your CV. Remember, work experience does not mean it has to have been 9 to 5, going to somewhere every day. You are just to prove, what did I do? What was I able to achieve? Right? So most times when people say they don't have work experience, if they check closely, there are some things they have done that could qualify as work experience. You just need to know how to present it in a manner, a way and manner that recruiters can relate to it, right? And this is a typical example. Now, skills, interest, and achievements. Is it necessary? Usually, skills is very necessary. And I would say that's why. the employer is looking for some kind of skills. For example, if you want to employ someone into HR, the person needs to know whether this person knows how to work with people management. For some employers, they will look at probably you know how to manage a payroll, probably you know how to manage policy documentation. So there are some core skills or technical skills that is needed. Then there are also the soft skills that is needed. So you should know the right kind of skills to put on your CV. Also, this standard example, this person put extracurricular activities, and this is because this is the CV of a school leaver. And I know SFC or most of the people that will be watching are students, and that's why we're using this structure. Um, a way you can get some things to put in your CV is what are the other things you did in school outside academics? And I know many employers are looking out for, oh, who was involved in societies? Who was the person that was able to organize events? Who is the person that was able to manage something? Do you understand? That was able to bring people together. If you were involved in such activities, that's something else you can put on your CV. Because some people complain, oh, I'm just leaving school, I don't have anything to put on my CV. Look at this person, secretary of society, and the person put what he or she was able to achieve while doing that. So you show that, oh, I am someone that is resourceful. I'm somebody that can get things done. I'm somebody who has worked with people before. I'm somebody who understands responsibility. Do you understand? Secretary, society did this. Do you understand? Even if it was you were part of the press, that's something you can put in your CV. So you actually have things you've done that you can actually fit into your CV. Then if you have awards and scholarships, you can put it, right? You can put it in your CV. Skills, you can put it. Interest. Now it's not compulsory, but if they are related to the job, and this is a typical example of areas of expertise or skills. So see this, the one lower. It says strategic sales and marketing, customer relationship management, service delivery management, sales reporting and analysis, right? Those are core skills. How to do sales analysis, complex problem solving, then interpersonal skills. So there are some basic skills that you should have that you can put in your CV. Research is a skill, actually. Research is a skill. Fundraising is a skill, right? So there are some skills you should be know that, okay, I've learned these skills and I can put them in my CV. Now, this another way to talk about the things you did in school. You were part of associations. It's similar to what the other lady put, or the other CV that talked about, oh, secretary to this board. Do you understand? These are things people did while in an institution. So, as young people, as school leavers, there is a way to crystallize your experience, the things you've done. There is a way to present it in a way that a recruiter says, this is the kind of person we are looking for. Do you understand? So it does not, for students, it does not necessarily have to be, oh, work experience. I worked in Dangote for 2 years. I was going there every day. Do you understand? There are ways you can get busy, get involved, and present them well in your CV as a school leaver, right? So that's more. Then education and qualification. Good. And I'll say this, is usually not necessary to put primary school education. For crying out loud, what is the use of your primary school to the job you want to apply for, right? Even secondary school. And why I allow some people put secondary school, and I'll say this, is because at times you may have gone to a very prestigious secondary school and you want to use it to pass a message or to let them know, I'm from this kind of background. For some people, I can say, okay, you can put that there, but usually it's unnecessary. If your secondary school doesn't give you an advantage, if you went to Danle Mosu Senior Grammar School, right, then you want to put that in your TV, you are doing yourself harm, right? So if you want to put your secondary school at all, it must be because that school gives you an advantage. If it doesn't give you an advantage, then don't bother. So, but usually you start from your most immediate experience. So, for example, if you have an MSc, you don't start with secondary school at the top. Then you now put your university, and you now put MSc down. You start with the most recent academic qualification, right? And this is a sample this person used. MSc in so Unilag, right? And put BENG, then put national diploma. That's fine. There's no secondary school here. Also, this person most likely is a developer, and this person wants to show, oh, I have so and so training in this field. right? Microsoft Azure fundamentals, the person put it. Do you understand? So are there courses you have done? Are there trainings you have done that are relevant? You can put that in your CV. Professional qualification that you've done that are relevant. Some people do CIPM, NIM, and all these things. You can put them in your CV. Another option that some people put, especially when you are probably applying for a project-related role or project management, is successful projects. What are the projects you have done? What were you able to achieve in those projects, right? And this is an example. But I work for Peace, chairman planning committee. You worked on that project. You did some stuff. What were you able to do? You can put that in your CV. Also, papers and publications. And I usually say this that virtually every student that graduated has at least a publication. Your long essay, which is your final year project, is called a long essay. That is a publication. If you look at this, the second one here, it says rhetoric as a tool for demagoguery, right? That was this person's final year project. And the person has presented it as papers and publication. And it's another way to gain advantage, right? If you are looking at getting to a particular industry, if you have publications, you have written blog articles, you have written a part in a book, maybe a chapter in a book, or your final year project is related, it qualifies as a publication. You can put it in your CV, right? So that's those are one of the other things. So just a few tips. Tailor your CV to the job. Don't have one CV and start sending that CV to every employer. No, it does not work. And that's why you need to study the job description. And we say this a lot. If you want to apply for a particular role, you should think like the employer. The employer is looking for who will add value, who has some kind of skills and some kind of competencies. And those things are usually put in the job description. So as a young school leaver, you're trying to get a job. It is your duty to look at, oh, I'm looking for a job in human resources. Go online, look for job descriptions for people in that field. What are the things these employers are looking for? Do I have them? If I don't have them, I start acquiring them, right? Then if there's a particular job you want to apply for, in the job description, you know what the employer is looking for. How can I present my experience to show that I have this? And that's why you need to always tailor your CV to a particular job application. Keep it short and simple. We said that earlier. Don't start writing unnecessary things or having a 5-page CV. It's unnecessary. Only include relevant information. Clearly state your achievement. And it's always good to use numbers. And like we said earlier, action verbs. I achieved this. I increased this from this to this, from so percent to so percent. I manage a team of so people to achieve specific results. It's always good when you say things people can hold on to. Check for spelling and grammatical errors. That is very key because so many people make mistakes and they don't go back to read. It's after you submitted it or you sent email, oh, I didn't do that. No. Always try to make sure you proofread or give it to somebody who has your best interest and knows better than you. Help me go through this CV. Then be honest. Don't lie in your CV. You will get caught at the interview. Do you understand? So please always be honest. I don't know if Oyinla wants to add one or two things to some of the things I've said. Have I missed out anything?
No, none yet. Although you should have mentioned that okay, you said from the in relation to duration now, you mentioned that for the um
Work experience?
no schooling. You
Yeah.
mentioned it for their educational background. It also
Okay.
applies to job experiences too. I get
Yeah.
that they are still these people are still in the university, but in the future, it's your latest experience that comes first, and
Most
you
of
should make
yeah.
them arrange. Don't put even if you're even if how do I put it now? Even if you have even if your job experience, maybe you're applying for a particular job, and the time you had that particular title, that time you held that particular job title was maybe 4 years ago, and you had some other job, you shouldn't put it up first. It should still be chronological from the earliest to the latest. So I
Yeah,
guess
cool.
that's
From the most recent to the farthest. So also for your job experience, you start from the most recent. So if I'm working in Jobberman now, the first thing on my CV should be first Jobberman, then to the last one I did before Jobberman, then to the others before that. Yes, thanks a lot for that. So that's more of it on CV writing. So I don't know if there are any questions, but I'll say that's core of it. So now for cover letters, I'll just give a little brief into what cover letters are about. I don't know if Oyinola wants to start. You can start off that session on cover letters. Generally, what are cover letters about, and why do people need cover letters? You can start with that, then we go into how they can write one.
All right. Okay, so cover letters basically are, first of all, personal. So when you're writing a cover letter, you would make sure that the recruiter, the employer, or whoever is going to go through your cover letter is going to read it in your words. Don't write it like something. You don't have to be. Yes, you have to be active. Make use of active verbs. Don't be. Don't make use of passive verbs. So the essence of your cover letter is to sell you, just like the CV is also to sell you, but the cover letter is selling you specifically for that job role, telling the person this and this is what I did, and this is why I am the best person for the job, and this is the way to get across to me so we can have further conversation on this particular job offer. Okay.
Okay, great. So she said it about cover letters. And now, why are cover letters important? And I'll say a few things. One, it shows that you are serious. It shows that you've gone a step further. And it is your opening act. It is what introduces you to the employer. Many times, it's the first thing the employer reads about you. And it's to stimulate them to go and check your CV. Oh, this is an interesting candidate. This person seems like a wow person, right? It's to stimulate them to go to your CV. And the opportunity you have in your cover letter, your CV is like your career story. It's like an history of you. But your cover letter can tell the employer not just who you have been, but what you will do. And that's the advantage you have with cover letter. You can go for that to tell the employer, this is what I will achieve for you. You bring your CV to life in your cover letter. And if 10 people apply for a job, and 7 people send CVs, and 3 people send cover letters, I can tell you those 3 people have an higher chance of getting that role or that job than the 7 who did not. So a cover letter is always an advantage, especially when it is well done. And basically, how do you write your cover letter? You first introduce yourself. I'm not going to go into all the address and stuff and title, but one thing is important. Try to address your cover letter to the person who is going to be making that decision, either the HR manager or maybe the head of the unit, if you know the person's name. So, for example, if you're writing a cover letter for a role, for I'll say a senior role in youth engagement or the implementation team, you may want to address it to the head of our unit, which is the youth engagement and learning, which is dear precious Ajonu. Do you understand? Not to whom it may concern or dear sir or ma. If you don't know the person's name, then you can put probably their hiring manager or their recruiting manager or something like that. But it's always good to know the name of the person that is making the decision or the name of the person that is hiring. Then after that, you put the title, right? You're applying for so application for this and this and this. Good. Then you introduce yourself. So this is who you are. How did you hear about this? What qualifies? What's your academic? So for me, I'll say I am so and so. I have my background in this, or I learned about this role from. But the first thing, and I'll give you 3, let's say 4. So the first thing in your cover letter is to introduce yourself. Who are you? How did you get to know about the role? Something like that. That's the first thing. The second thing is to introduce yourself as related to the job. So, for example, if I have some little experience, I'll start with, oh, I have so experience in this. I've worked here. I studied this and it's related to um the role I'm applying for, right? So the first thing is general introduction about yourself, your name, your academics, or how you got to know about the role, whether it was in the newspaper or you recommended. The second thing is your experience. And when I say your experience is, oh, it could be passion, it could be, oh, I've worked here, it could be I've worked in so and so places, right? Then next is how that experience is going to add value? What's your magic? So from my experience, I'll be able to achieve so and so for you. So for example, let's say I want to apply, for example, I'm in youth engagement. I want to apply for a project management job in another company. Working on the MCF project with Jobberman, I can tell them, so I'll start the letter with, this is who I am. This is my name. This is my educational background. This is how I got to know about this role. That's paragraph 1. Paragraph 2 is my experience at Jobberman. So I've worked at Jobberman, working with the youth engagement team, working on so and so projects. I was able to achieve this and this and that. Then I now go next to the company or the industry I'm applying to. From all these experiences, I believe I'll be able to achieve so and so for you. And why can I not give examples? Because what you are saying has to be related to the company and the role you're applying to. So let's say I'm applying to what company can I use now? Let's say I'm applying to what popular company is there? A Leap Africa now, because it's in the same space. So I know Leap Africa works on leadership, work with young people. I'll tell them how I would have done my study on what projects they're working on, and I'll tell them how I can add value on that project. I believe I'll be able to, based on my experience and relationship, um, um, achieve this for their project, or bring together a network of young people, or um, maybe improve communication or improve engagement for a few of their projects. So one key thing in writing cover letters is that you need to have done a lot of research. And why am I saying a lot of research? Is because you cannot write a good cover letter without knowing exactly what you would achieve for that company, because that's what sells you. The employer is looking for somebody to solve some problems. That particular role is meant to solve some problems or achieve something. If you don't know it, then your cover letter cannot give you an advantage. So if for me to write a cover letter, I have a job description. I know the company, I know the industry. So I can say, oh, this and this is what I'll achieve for you. Then after saying all that, you just go further to talk about, oh, you will look forward to maybe an interview or taking this conversation further, then thank you. So that's what I'll say is the basic structure for a cover letter. I don't know if Oyinlola wants to add a few things before we call it a day.
All right, so I would want to mention that it is important. Okay, documentation is important. So it's just like Olaolu mentioned that you should, if you have any, okay, I have to quickly run back to CV. If you have any, how do I put it? Have any experience, any voluntary experience, it doesn't have to be that you've gone to work somewhere at Chevron or something, as long as you've worked physically. It is important that you have your achievements in quantifiable terms, like you quantify your achievement. So for your cover letter now, it's important to tell them, okay, while maybe if you want to quickly make a reference to where you worked before, to see how, or to show them that you're actually the best fit for that role, you can say, okay, I achieved 300% increase in sales. Like, let's assume you're applying for a sales position, or you're able to convert. So you make use of percentage, make use of numbers, because it gives the person an idea of what you can do and what you actually be able to do if you are brought on board to fulfill that particular role. Okay, so I guess that's that.
Okay, so I guess those are the major things. And like she said, quantifiable numbers is usually an advantage. So for example, if you led a team and you grew sales by 15% or by 20%, or you moved engagement on social media from, let's say you're applying to be a community manager, you've worked as a community manager before, and you grew their social media engagement from number. There's a term that is used to number. Do you understand? Do you understand? So those, or if it's sales, actually you achieved sales to the tune of so amount. Do you get? So whatever industry you are, there's a way you can quantify your results. It's always good to be able to quantify those results and let them know in cover letter. It's something that is tangible. So those I'll say are the basic things. If you have further questions about CV writing, about cover letter writing, you can reach out to us, Jobberman, probably on social media. Our social handles, if you just look for Jobberman Youth Engagement or Jobberman Nigeria, reach out to us or send us an email at connect. I think it's connect at jobberman.com. Onila can help me with that. But just reach out to us on social media, and you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Olaoluwa Oluwashola, or reach out to Onilola. So I guess that will be it for today. It's a
Wait, just before we go, please, well, also remember to edit your CVs. Don't put an outdated phone number and be expecting that they will call. Put only a number, like before you send it, cross check. I mean, cross your T's, dot your I's. Make sure, because it's very possible. I mean, okay, we have about 11 numbers. It's very possible, maybe due to stress, due to the fact they are rushing, that you impute just 10 of the numbers or 9, or mistakenly exchange one number for the other. It's not, nobody's going to call you that way because it's the wrong number that you imputed. So make sure you edit. You cannot, okay, yes, for editing too, make you, there are some apps, you're designing your CV yourself. There are apps that you can use, there are editing apps you can use, like Grammarly. So Grammarly will help you sieve out typographical errors to see that you don't make, grammatical mistakes, because there are some recruiters that do not want to see grammatical errors. It means that you are not paying attention to details. It means that you might probably not be observant enough in that particular role. So you should make sure that you are observant while sending your CV. Before sending your CV, make sure you put only the correct details. Make sure you put only the right things. And all these things will not be done by the email address or by whatever thing you want to do. You have to do it yourself. And that is why you have to be proactive while writing your CV as well. Okay, I think that is all from me.
Okay, so great. So I think it's been an amazing session today. If there are any questions, please reach out to us on social media or LinkedIn or by email. So thanks a lot for today. I think that will be it. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, can anyone hear me now? Wow. Hello. Thank you very much for the section. I think our facilitators had to attend to some issues, but as regards the slides, it will be sent. I will reach out to them if it can be sent to everyone's email addresses. Yes, it's going to send to everybody's email addresses. So we had issues, we had technical issues trying to send in our SMS early. Sorry for that. Tomorrow will be quite early. We'll do that early enough. So expect the SMS to the Utiva class. They'll be taking us on introduction to data analysis. Yeah. And they said there is not going to be a time limit. Probably we might be spending up to an hour or probably an hour 30 minutes, because they will love to go deep into your data analysis and how to visualize it. Okay, so it's going to be a very interactive section as well as an informative section. So I implore you not to miss out tomorrow's section. ISEC is supposed to come up now. ISEC is supposed to come up now, but we might not be having ISEC at this time because I think they are not available at the moment. So probably after tomorrow's section with Utiva, would have ISEC introduce us to what exchange programs are. And as an undergraduate, like we rightly heard what Jobberman um, staff said, we need to get involved as undergraduates. You get, so you need to put something on your CV. You get, and this and lots more. Like in case of internship, volunteering opportunities needs to be you need to be involved in them. So you'll be able to write something on your CV and be able to compete. And as you get compete with a lot of folks that are in the labor market and just stand out. Okay, so thank you very much for coming along today. I really do appreciate everybody. We'll see you tomorrow by 12 p.m. and expect a reminder mail by 11:50. So thank you very much.